Hello traders, good afternoon. Let us take a look at what are the expectations that we have for tomorrow, tomorrow being the 8th of October, and what are the different support and resistance areas that we have. Again, before we start, if you are liking the content of the video, please like, share and comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here and click on the notification icon. Let us get back to the monthly chart. So on the monthly chart, we can see that we broke down this 5781, which was the 11% of this particular mother bar, and we came down below the 21%. However, we have recovered a little bit and closed above the 38 to 40 area. So tomorrow we will have to see if the low of the day is breaking down, then we can come down to this 5722 area. And if we are breaking this 5722 area, the next major support that we have on the monthly chart will be at 5687, and below 5687 the major support that we will have again will be between 5669 and 5660 or the 5655 area. And after that we can get to this trend line support on the monthly chart, which is at the 562021 area again. Now this is a very tight channel on the monthly chart, so even if we are coming down below this particular trend line, I am thinking that there will be bulls there to push the price back up again. However, if the bulls fail, we can even come down to this 5574 to the 5557 area, which is a strong support area at this point, considering that this is a micro gap on the monthly chart. And I am expecting that if price comes down here, we will get a bounce again. If we do not get a bounce here, then we will see if the price is breaking down further and getting down to this 54.94 levels, or actually towards this 5419 level, which will complete the 400 point on the ATR. On the upside again, based on the monthly chart, I want to see the price above 5783, then we can get above to the 5806 area based on the monthly chart, and then we can get to the high of the month and try to get to the ATH. We also need to remember that that 5822 line remains a very strong resistance. So if we are expecting an upside above the current ATH, that 5622 line has to be taken out first, or otherwise we can get rejected there again and we can continue to be in the same trading range as we have been. So that is all that we have on the monthly chart. Let us now move on to the weekly chart. Now looking at the weekly chart, we mentioned this 5734 line yesterday, which happens to be the 5 EMA, and we came down exactly to that point and we bounced from there. Now we will have to see if we are able to break down this low of today, then we can come down to the 5724 area. We know that the 5724 area or the 5724 to the 21 area may actually act as a very strong support, and the price may bounce from there. If the price does not bounce from this 5734 area, we will come down to this 5722 to the 19 area. And breaking that down, we will actually come down to this 5712, and below that we can come down to this 5690 line, which happens to be the trend line support on the weekly chart. There we can get a bounce here. If we do not get a bounce here, the next support will be in the 5713 area, breaking down which we will come somewhere between 5702 and 5691, 5691 being the trend line support on the weekly chart. And if we are failing to bounce there, somewhere between 5691 and 5685, the price can bring us down to the 5673 area and subsequently to this buy zone here at 5647. Now, if you remember, the 85 line was actually the midpoint of this particular week. As of yesterday, we have created a new low, and as a result of which the midpoint of the line has moved to the 5772 or the 73 area, and we will mark that accordingly. And if the price wants to break down all these support areas, we can actually come to this 5683 or the 5685 line, which happens to be the 123-point ATR target for the bears on the weekly chart. On the upside again, I would like to see the price go above this 50% of this week, which is at 5773. That can bring us to the 5785 area again, but we will still need to remember that we have those two double tops today at the high of near the high of the day, and we have to take that out. We have to take out the high of the day at around the 86 or 86.5 area, and then we will see if we are getting to the 5691 or the 90 line, which happens to be the close of the last week. Above that, we can come somewhere between 5800 and 5797, crossing above which we can get to this high of the week, which is at 5808, which we actually got in the overnight session yesterday, and above that we can get to this 19 to the 22 area. Now, if we are crossing above the 19 to 22 area, then only we can expect that the price will come above to this 80H, break out the 80H, and may actually get to this wedge line at 5840. Apart from that, there are no other major developments that I see on this particular chart. This bar still stays to be an inside bar. Now, we will have to see if we are breaking down this 5725. It is also possible that we come to the 11 to the 21% extension of this particular weekly mother bar, and we can actually bounce from there. So in order to find out what is that exact level, so if you're looking at the 11% to the 21% extension of this particular weekly mother bar, that will bring us somewhere to the 5714 to the 5704 area. And if that breaks down, we can come down to this 5691 area, which happens to be the 33% extension, and then we can come down to this 5675 area as well, which happens to be the 50% extension of this mother bar. Incidentally, the 1:1 of this mother bar will happen somewhere around 5625. Again, on the upside, the 5813 area remains a trap zone. If we are breaking above that, we can come to this 582122 line, and above that, that 5835 to the 5845 will remain the trap zone again. Beyond that, we can get to the 5857 line and then to the 5873 line, and the 1:1 of this particular mother bar will happen somewhere in the 5923 area. So we will have to keep an eye on all these levels, these fibs, as well as the major support and resistance areas on the weekly chart, and then decide whether the price is actually trying to break down the supports, come down farther, or we are bouncing from there in order to create another move to the upside. There is a trading range that has been created as of now, which we will take a look at once we move on to the lower time frames. Now, looking at the daily chart, you will find that we had another bounce off of the 20 EMA. And now if we are breaking down this 20 EMA, we will mostly come and visit this 5725 area. We also have this expanding triangle, and the target for that expanding triangle to the downside is 5720. If you look here, we had this one leg up and we had this one leg down. We tried to get up back there again, but we failed right at this 5808 resistance, and we have come down till here. So if we are able to break this down, and if we come below this red area, we will mostly come to this 572322 line, which is the low of this particular day of October 2nd, and below that we can find this 5715.25 line to be the next support, which is again in sync with the 5714 line. If the 5714 line breaks down, as we saw on the weekly chart as well, the next target will be the 5702, and then we can come down to the 5688 to the 85 area, and after that we can come to this daily micro double bottom that we had, which is at 5676 area. Now, if we are trying to break these areas down on the daily chart, then it is possible that we will get a measured move to this 5677 or 78 area to the downside. That may not happen in a single day, considering that we have a 64-point ATR at this point of time. And if we are counting from this particular high that we had, the 64 points will bring us somewhere to the 5690 area, and we can bounce from there and get back inside this expanding triangle once again. And if we are considering 60 points from this open of this particular day today, from 5753, it can actually bring us above this resistance area at 5808, and it will take us somewhere in the 5815 to the 16 area. So for tomorrow, if we are going to maintain this 64-point range, the lower target remains to be at 5690, and the higher target stays around the 5814 to the 5816 areas. Now, if we are counting the legs from here, this was the first entry shot, this was the second entry shot. We did come below the second entry shot and did go back up. However, we failed at the open of this particular day, which happens to be at the 5644.5 area. So we will have to wait for this 5720 to break down. Once this 5720 and then this 5714 area breaks down, the next target will be the 5702. We will have to wait for the breakdown of the 5700 line and then see if we are coming to this 5690 to the 5686 area. This is another trend line that we have at this point. If we again do not bounce from here, the 5676 or the 5660 areas will be highly possible once we break out of these areas. We need also to remember that this 569092 may actually be a very good support as well, because of this particular bar, which was really strong. So the bulls actually can come out somewhere between 5702 and 5688 or the 85 area. On the upside again, I want price to get above this 5762 line, get to the 5773, cross above that, get above this 5785 line. This has been a very strong resistance today, and above that we can get to the 5798, and these areas, if we can cross above this 5808, only at that point of time we can see that we will be getting to this 5818 or the 14 to the 16 targets to the upside, and then we can come up to this 5822, which happens to be the 1st of October high. Above that we can get to the 88, and if we are getting above the 88 at this point of time, we may as well go and touch this particular wedge line to the top, which will happen in the 5881 area. But these areas can only be reached once we have broken out of this all-time high very strong. So it may not happen immediately tomorrow. We have the FOMC minutes on Wednesday, and then we have the CPI data on Thursday. So that is when we may actually see that particular move to the upside or to the downside. Otherwise we may actually keep on staying in this particular trading range that we are in right now. So that is all that we have on the daily chart. Let us now look at the 4-hour intraday chart. Now, if you're looking at the 4-hour intraday chart, you will see that we had this wedge line on the top. We tried to break out of this wedge line. We failed there and we came back. This was the first leg down. This was the second leg down that we had. Now we will have to see if the price is actually coming to these areas, the 25 to the 24 areas in the morning, and we are breaking them down. We are getting below this particular trend line. There will be a possibility that we come down to this 5711 to this 5703 areas. At this point of time, I will keep this particular line extended to the right. And if we are inside this particular channel and we are breaking down this 11 and the 02 or the 03 areas, our next support will be at 5689, and finally we can come down to this 5675 or the 5673 area and complete this particular 4-touch wedge to the downside. And if we continue to break this down, if you break this channel down, then the next area of support will be between 5660 and 5656, and after that we can have this 5640 and 5631 respectively. On the upside, I would like to see that the price on the 4-hour chart is getting above this 5767 or the 5766 area, which happens to be the 20 EMA as of now. Once we get above that and we get above this 5673 area, we may have some resistance at 5676, but above that it will easily reach this 5686 line. And then we will see if the price is coming up here to the 5693 or the 92 area. There is a possibility that we can have a double top at this 5794. We can also have a double top at this 5789 area, and the price may want to come down again. If we are going above this 5794 area, our next target will be the 98 to the 5800 area. Above that we may come and test this particular wedge line once again. Now, if you also see here, this whole area, this 58022 to the 5840 area, this is acting as a trading range. We are in the lower 1/3 of the trading range. So there is a possibility that we will find bulls here again, get above this 55% area and get to the upper 1/3 of this particular trading range. Now the lower 33% area is at the 5761 line and the upper 33% area is at the 5681 line. So we will have to see which way the market is moving. Based on that, we can take a call. And if you see here, the price just came down to the 5726 line and bounced back from there. Since I do not hold any overnight trades and I do not trade overnight, we will have to see where the 4-hour price is there in the morning, and we will take a decision based on that. Now, if you also see, this 4-hour chart is actually in a very tight channel. Now, if we are breaking out of this particular line overnight, I am pretty sure the bears will try to sell around the 5773 area once again and try to bring the price back down to the previous extreme. And I am expecting at that point of time it will again try to touch somewhere between 40 and 34 area once again. Then we will have to see that if we are breaking these areas down, then the downward plan will become effective once again. However, right now we have the first touch, second touch, and the third touch. We may do a pullback and then come back down to do another fourth touch on this particular line. Now, all the charts that we are discussing right now, the read-only link to those are given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as our Facebook page. You are very welcome to join there. Let us now move on to the ETH 1-hour chart. Now, if you look at the 1 hour chart, after this first high, this was the first reversal attempt. This was the second reversal attempt. We broke strongly below the second reversal attempt. We had the third reversal attempt and we came back down once again till this 5763 line. Then we had this fourth reversal attempt to the upside. And after the fourth reversal attempt, we got a climactic bar that got us right into the buy zone. Now, since this was a very tight channel, maybe this was trying to break out of the channel and the bears took it down to find a new extreme. And now, right now, we have a double bottom at the 5726 area. So since we are in a trading range, it is highly possible that we will stay in this trading range. We can get above this 5773 line, get back to the 5786 to the 5793 or the 99 area, get rejected from there and come back down again. So at this point of time, if you're looking at this wedge, this was the first touch that happened. We had the second touch here, we had the third touch, and we had the fourth touch as well. So maybe now the hourly chart will look for a two-legged pullback. So based on these analysis, we will come back again in the morning and look at the charts at 8:45 a.m. EST. And then we will decide what can be the trading plan for the day. If you want to join that particular pre-market call, the link to the Google Meet is also given in the description below. Now on the upside, this particular bull bar, this from 5786 to 5795 will continue to be a very strong resistance once the price comes back up. We will have to be careful in these areas if we are finding a double top here and the price wants to come back down again. However, a lot of things can happen overnight, and only after the 8:30 a.m. news items are out in the morning, we will be able to decide on a direction where the price will be going. Let us now move on to the 5-minute RTA chart. Now, if you're looking at the RTA chart, after this new high was created, we had this first reversal attempt, we had the second reversal attempt, we had the two-legged third reversal attempt, and we had the fourth reversal attempt. After the fourth reversal attempt, we even tried to revert back to the fourth reversal attempt, but this breakdown below the fourth reversal attempt was really strong, as a result of which we got another leg down, an inside bar, and then another leg down to the bottom. And after that, we started creating a trading range. Now we will have to see where the price is tomorrow morning with respect to the trading range. If you want to look at this area got tested once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and 7 times on the 5-minute chart. And as we saw right now on the ETA chart, it actually got tested the 8th time. So this area might actually become weak and the price may actually drop down from this 5733.75, come to this 572526 area, break this down, get to this 5721 and continue down as we were talking earlier. And if the price is continuing down, we are breaking down this line, then there is a high possibility that we will come and see this particular trend line somewhere at the bottom, creating the third touch on this particular line. But prior to that, we need to make sure that this 25 or the 26 area is breaking down strong and taking out the 21 to the 20 areas as well. However, this 13 to the 09 area can be a good support and there may be some bounce there, but as long as we are not going above the 5725 area, that bounce may not be a strong one. At this point of time, I will also keep this particular line extended. This will help us to see with respect to this particular trend line where the price is sitting in the morning. Now, if we are breaking above the 60 area, again, we will have to see if we are getting above 66. If we are getting above 66, the next major resistance will be the 71 to the 73 area. Above that, we can come up to the 5779 or the 80 area. And if we are crossing above this 81 and we can break out this 86 or the 85 area strong, then only there is a possibility that we can come to this 579091 area, keep breaking out of there, and then maybe we can get to the high of the day of Friday, break out from there if we are going above this particular wedge line, and then we can get to the 5811 to the 13 area, followed by the 16 to the 21 area. And if we are closing above this 22.5 line, this 88 will be the next target, following which we can get a measured move to the upside and we will come and touch this line somewhere on the upside. So that is all the analysis I have for now. Based on this, again, as I said, we will be back in the morning at 8:45 a.m. EST for the pre-market call. I will end this video right here and I'll see you guys again in the morning. Have a great rest of the night, everyone. Bye.